Hello. I just wanted to do a really quick little video explaining what cognitive dissonance is, because I see this phrase used a lot and I kind of know what it means, but I think we should be clear. We should all get on the same page, make sure we're using it right. When I say we, I mean me. This was basically, I said it in the last video and I just thought, let's just double check what this means. So basically, cognitive dissonance is the inconsistency between what a person believes and how they behave. And the upshot of that is the behaviour that you engage in to get away from that discomfort and inconsistency. So some signs of cognitive dissonance are feeling uncomfortable before doing something or making a decision, trying to justify or rationalise a decision or action you've made, feeling embarrassed, ashamed, guilty or regretful, or doing things because of social pressure, even if it was something you didn't want to do. So a few simple examples are, you know that smoking is bad for your health, but you do it anyway. You rationalise this action by pointing to your high stress levels. Or you have a long to-do list, you spend the day watching TV, you don't want your spouse to know, so you try to make it look like you've worked hard all day. But then this is what I find interesting. I'm reading this all off a website, by the way, that I'll link below. The causes of cognitive dissonance. So they say forced compliance. So you find yourself engaging in a behaviour that is opposed to your own beliefs due to external expectations at work, school, or social situations. So I feel that's interesting and potentially relevant. Learning new information can lead to feelings of cognitive dissonance, which it seems obvious now that I'm saying it out loud, but I found that interesting. And I think that was the stuff that really started to make my mind change on all sorts of things to do with feminism and like social justice type topics. So if you engage in a behaviour that you later learn is harmful, it can lead to feelings of discomfort. People deal with this by finding ways to justify their behaviours or finding ways to discredit or ignore the new information. And I found this interesting because when I was sort of going through this, well, my justification was I didn't have this new information. And now I have this new information. I'm going to change what I'm doing or change how I'm thinking. I'm well aware that I'm not doing as much as I'd like to in the real world, but that's a discussion for another day, maybe. The other bits that I thought interesting were things that a person might do to cope with these feelings. Adopting a belief or an idea to help justify or explain away the conflict. So, that's kind of why, well, it also ties into the other one that I saw that was only seeking out information that confirms your existing beliefs. It affects your ability to think critically about the situation, but helps minimise feelings of dissonance. So that was a really interesting one for me. Again, that thing of like, just sticking with, I'm just going to use the word facts in rather large inverted commas there about the world and how it works and biology or whatever, to minimise these feelings. As people like to believe they are logical, consistent and good at making decisions, cognitive dissonance can interfere with the perceptions they hold about themselves and their abilities, which is why it can often feel so uncomfortable and unpleasant. Which, yes, if you believe yourself to be an expert in all things queer, then obviously you get upset when you see something that's conflicting that and you're having to reckon with the fact that you're not actually as clever as you think you are. I'm just going to say certain people I've seen do seem to have a very high opinion of themselves and the knowledge base that they have, when in actual fact they are not even just uninformed but completely uncurious, which I think is the interesting part of this. I'm perfectly willing to admit that I'm barely scratching the surface of the things that I'm interested in. But I'm at least curious and I'm at least willing to have this discussion. The other things they say is that you might add more beliefs to outweigh your dissonant beliefs. So that was interesting. You sort of re-brainwash yourself by reading more kind of choice feminism type things that just make you feel good about yourself and soothe yourself into like, oh yes, wearing makeup is empowering me right now. Instead of just going, the sensible thing, which is, oh, it's not empowering, well, I'm going to not wear makeup. Or if that's too difficult because you feel uncomfortable with your face, which should be a sign that it's an issue, you can then go, well, I will not wear foundation. I'll still wear lipstick for a bit, and I'll cut things out as I go. But instead you seek out information that confirms your initial thing that you're now doubting because of new information. I found it really interesting. Yeah, that's the thing they say here is changing the conflicting cognition is one of the most effective ways of dealing with the dissonance, but also one of the most difficult. So all this is to say that basically, cognitive dissonance is seeing a discrepancy in what you believe and what you do, or what you believe and what you see in the world. And it often involves finding ways to rationalize that. But actually, the cognitive dissonance can be the thing to snap you out of an illogical way of thinking or something. Anyway, that was maybe a little bit vague, but hopefully we will learn something. I certainly did. And it's nice to have these little reminders, of all these sort of very base concepts that, words get chucked around a lot online, and it's nice to just now feel a little bit more firm that, I do know what cognitive dissonance is. This was more for me than it was for you. Also, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. No, I love you, bye. Love you, bye.